due to reasons out of our control. But we're back here now for the American stint of the TH Jordan RTA GT4 Cup Series. We're here at Sebring. Respect the bumps, as always, here at Sebring, and we're looking at lap times of over 2 minutes long, but a fantastic section of track here, really built here as part of the Hendricks Army Airfield, which was a training base for B-17 pilots in operation from the 1941 to 1946 in the heart of Florida, and obviously host, and very famously the host of the 12 Hours of Sebring, which was first held here on March 15th, 1952, and has pretty much become a household name for endurance racings in the history of motorsport. It's just myself flying solo for tonight, but Ronan is in the background as our producer, so he will be giving me little tidbits and telling me I'm pronouncing all the names wrong. No change there, in at least in that part of the schedule. But obviously we come here to Sebring where we are respecting the bumps here. Looking at practice though, we are in for a treat. We have got a lot of drivers who are very, very close together. And as you can see here, we're joining into the latter stages of practice here with Jordan Kelly leading the way there, just a 2:10, just into the, I think that's a 2:10, 2:20 maybe. But in any case, there you can see the gaps on the screen then, top 10 separated by just over 3/4 of a second there. So very, very close at the top of the field. I believe that's the top 12, just covered by, just in the echelons of 1 second. So really good to see here. If you're joining us for the first ever time, welcome along. Let's take you through how the series, or at least how racing, will proceed today. So we have ourselves 3 races pretty much. Here we can see on the screen, we've got the first race, which is a 10-minute race set by qualifying, which we'll cover very shortly. We've got the second race of 15 minutes, and that's the grid that's set by race 1. So the results of that will start there. And then for the final race, race 3, that 20 minutes, we reverse the top 8 from race 2. And so we have a sort of a GP2 F2 race there, where we reverse the top 8 and see what action happens there. So looking forward to that. And as you can see, drive-through penalties at 15x incident points and disqualification at 20. And at a track like this, track limits does become a regular factor. And the Sunset Bend, obviously one of the bumpiest pieces of tarmac you'll ever see in motorsport. It's such the like that we've grown to love the bumps here at Sebring, respecting them as such. And through that final corner, you really do need a car that can take the brunt of the action here. The car the drivers are using tonight, we see Ronan Doherty make his way through, is the Aston Martin Vantage GT4, which debuted in real-world motorsport in 2008, and it's seen, several revisions over the year, and resulting into the car we see today in iRacing based on the 2018 spec road-going Aston Martin V8 Vantage. It's powered by a naturally aspirated front-mounted V8 driving the rear wheels, so it's got good straight line speed, decent handling over the curbs, and if it's got decent handling over the curbs, it normally means it's going to handle the bumps pretty nicely indeed. It's not the lightest car on the grid, so you've got to be smooth about it, and especially through those bumps through the final corner. You do not want to put a foot wrong on that case, but it's got a lot of natural rotation because it's front-engined. So that's going to help our drivers turn our way through here as we ride on board here with Brian McManus, with the clouds looming over the circuit here. And just on board with Brian, you can see how bumpy this track can be and will be for this race weekend here. I say race weekend, but we all know what I mean. Enter Genderbian Bend and down towards Le Mans Curve. This is the back end of the circuit as we head our way through now onto the Ullman Straight. And Brian McManus there, you can see a lot of track limit there on the left-hand side, but you're allowed to take it. It's part of the circuit. As we're just finishing up practice now, we will be shortly heading into qualifying here at Sebring for round number 4. Just before we head into qualifying then, or is qualifying just about to begin, it's probably worth taking a look at the standings as we head into round 4 of the championship. So there you can see Jordan Kelly is at the top of the standings. Dylan McClements there is in second place. David Maguire rounding off the top 3, and Rowan Doherty in 4th. Rory O'Shea in 5th, and a point behind is Alexander Milchan in 6th. Sean McGoldrick is in 7th place. Conor Melia is in 8th. Ryan Ware 9th, and Robert Moore rounding off the top 10. Ryan and Robert both sharing the same points there on 89. And because last week we cancelled the Spa Grand Prix because of the issues that iRacing was having, that's every single driver's dropped round now. You would have had a drop round had all 8 races gone ahead. That's no longer the case. Every round counts now. So if you had a bad run in races 1 to 3, you don't get to drop them anymore. They're now part of your championship. So this is going to spice things up just a tad. And with Jordan Kelly at the top of the standings, it's a very, very busy track here as we head into qualifying. And it's very nice to welcome you along here to the TH Jordan RTA GT4 Cup. And of course, we do want to thank our sponsors, TH Jordan, who are established in 1986, based in Belfast. They offer an efficient and client-focused design, print and finishing service. Their work ranges from single-colour stationery and leaflets to full-colour folders, annual reports and magazines. They work with a diverse range of clients throughout the UK and Ireland in a wide variety of sectors, including education, industry, churches and charitable organisations. So we thank TH Jordan for their sponsorship, and it's been a great series so far with these Aston Martins here at Sebring. And once we're halfway through race 2, we'll technically be at the halfway point, but that really is nitpicking at that point, isn't it? See the gaggle of Aston Martin cars. I suppose at this point we need to find out the collective noun for a group of Aston Martins. You have like a murder of crows. Something needs to be that way with a pack of Aston Martins. A pack of Aston Martins doesn't quite sound right, does it? We need something a bit more furious. They put me on my commentary box on my own. I don't know if you can tell. Here we go then into qualifying. The first laps are starting to get underway here. And, well, I think we did tell these drivers that they're not racing just yet, but they're all sharing pretty much the same piece of track here as you'll file our way through in towards turn 1, now towards turn 2. And then we'll eventually head our way through in towards Gurney Bend. And it seems like every single car's making their way through here. 29 drivers are looking to take the start in this one, so nice grid to take us through into Sebring. As Ronan Doherty, my apologies, is one to look out for in these early stages of qualifying, setting those purple mini sectors so far. Of course, this is the first lap for everybody, and they're all treating it like a race. There's someone going slightly wide, pushing a little bit too hard, and that is Ronan Doherty just pushing the limits a little bit too much. I suppose your first lap of qualifying is probably your best chance and your best way to make sure you explore those track limits. Jordan Kelly setting some quick sectors now, so worth keeping an eye on our championship leader. There he is, making his way through now. And yeah, just about kissing that little bit of, I would call it gravel, but it's more like sand on the outside here. As we watch now Jordan Kelly file his way through towards the back end of the circuit, towards Le Mans Curve. And normally you would see drivers here. Sorry, this is Gender Bin Ben. Now it's Le Mans Curve, because there you can see that sort of tarmac that all the drivers use on the right-hand side of your picture, the left-hand side of the track, to open up Le Mans Curve as much as possible, which then gives you a good run up the Ullman Straight. And then we'll head away towards Sunset Bend. And if we can stick with our championship leader, Jordan Kelly, as he rides his way through the bumps here of the final corner. It is so easy for the car to get unsettled here. You can just see from the outside how much of a bumpy ride it is, and then get nice up and close and personal with those tyre barriers as much as possible. Jordan Kelly then comes across the line to set the first lap of qualifying. A 2 minute 11.1 is our fastest. We have seen quicker practice times so far, but it's no surprise really when you can just see the entire pack now is making its way across the start-finish line. Adam Dowling is now putting himself onto the front row there with a 2 minute 11.5. It's about 3 to 4 tenths separating our front row as it stands, but plenty of action and plenty of drivers making their way across the line. Then it starts to calm down a bit and we get our drivers making their way through and looking to pretty much get their lap times on the board. I mean, this isn't the conventional way of qualifying. Then again, you've got everybody sharing the same bit of circuit, and it's you've got relatively low speed corners around Sebring, so this could work, especially if you're looking to get the toe of the car ahead and really make your way up the order there. And Jordan Kelly has been dethroned there by Peter Dempsey at the top of the standings, because Peter Dempsey is just at a 2 minute 11 flat. Let's put him now onto provisional pole position. And it's just waiting now, because it's a long lap here at Sebring. We're looking at those 2 minute 11s as your fastest laps in qualifying so far. So expect that to come down as the drivers start to get those the heat into the tyres and start to get their rhythm on like they did in practice. There is Jordan Kelly now. He makes his way through in towards Le Mans Curve. And again, you can see the dark bit of tarmac on the outside of Le Mans Curve, as everyone will use that part. Make sure they open up Le Mans Curve as much as possible, carry some speed through. And we'll ride on board then with Jordan Kelly as he'll make his way through in towards the final corners then. So that's Peter McCann in 4th place, by the way. Robert Moore 5th, Brian McManus is in 6th place, Sean McClements in 7th, Conor Melia in 8th, Stephen Donnelly in 9th, and Ryan Ware rounds off the top 10. Let's see what Jordan Kelly can do. Can he make his way back up to the top of the standings? Yep, you bet he can. And he breaks now into those 2 minute 10 seconds. So it's game on now for everybody else. See what they can do. Sean McClements now moves up into 3rd place, and this is where the lap times come in thick and fast along the field. Ryan Ware now moves back up into the top 10, into 9th place. And as we see there is Ryan Ware with the Panda on the side. Recognisable car, isn't it, the Panda? Aston Martin Panda. It wouldn't work, would it, that name? It's more of a Fiat name, isn't it, unfortunately? But it might work. One day. One day. Peter Dempsey's in 2nd place. And then Sean McClements is in 3rd. Adam Dowling is in 4th place. But Jordan Kelly now at the top. Ronan Doherty's now just gone into P2 there. So putting himself onto the front row of the grid. All to play for here in qualifying as we are past the halfway mark of qualifying. And with the fact that we have a 15-minute qualifying session, and you've got, we're now lapping into the 2 minute 10s if you're Jordan Kelly, 2 minutes 11 if you're anybody else at the moment. You don't get a lot of laps here because that's including your out laps. So really you've got 12 and a half minutes to get some lap times in. So you're looking at maybe 5-6 laps. So there's not many opportunities to get yourself up the order. And Ronan Doherty here is making his way through. Yeah, you can see 0.369, the Goose Drank Wine seconds behind. Peter Dempsey 3rd place then, Sean McClements in 4th. Adam Dowling has now been into the pit, so has Peter McCann, but Adam Dowling is making his way back out onto track, so perhaps a little bit of setup change, perhaps some tyre pressure adjustments just to make sure that everything is up to spec. There is Adam Dowling rejoining qualifying. He currently is 5th fastest in this qualifying session. Robert Moore is in 7th place. Brian McManus is in 8th. Evan Walsh is in 9th. Ryan Ware now rounding off that top 10 in the 616. And we've got Stephen Donnelly now in 11th place. Conor Melia in 12th. And there is Stephen Donnelly then. As Jordan Kelly has just gone quicker again. 2 minute 10.556. Conor Melia now up into 5th place. Now Dylan McClements goes up to 4th. You see what I mean? The gaggle of cars making their way across the line really does shuffle up the leaderboard. We've got 5 more cars yet to cross the line just in that picture alone. Finley Melvin and John McDonald set improvements there, but Jamal Gandor now up into 8th place. Robert Moore 10th fastest now in this qualifying session. And then we have Jan Wing Fei now up into P18. Colin O'Regan is now into 19th place with the 2 minute 12.2. Simon Hutchings 2 minute 12.7 now puts him up into the top 24, now onto the 12th row of the grid. Peter Dempsey now is top of the standings. So really, it's chopping and changing every single time right now, which is great to see. Great to see a battle for that pole position. And Peter Dempsey's just set down a marker there for Jordan Kelly, say anything you can do, I can do a couple of tenths better right now. As that's Lawrence de Sosfa now making his way up into P12. Also host of the Potato Nation. A great event if you did manage to tune into it. Great fundraiser. And Lawrence here now up into the 6th row of the grid. He'll make his way through those first couple of corners. So Peter Dempsey now with a 2 minute 10.5 is our fastest lap time in this qualifying session. And there we see Dylan McClements then right in a bit of a sandwich right now. But in theory, they're all working together. In theory, of course. Does it work out on paper? Maybe. Maybe. We'll find out when they all cross the line and take out 2 tenths, 3 tenths, just by all being and sharing each other's toe down the Allman Straight in towards Sunset Bend. Well, McClements then making his way around that final corner in the number 1 car. Not many laps, not much time left. Oh, that was close there, isn't it? Just to the tyre wall. Amazingly close there. Millimetrically perfect, I think they call that. Millimetrically perfect. I think that's Ryan Ware, who's just gone up into the top 10. It is. Who's gone up to 8th fastest. There is Ryan Ware. So a good lap from him. And then it's Robert Moore, who's now moved up into 4th place now. So 2nd row of the grid. Peter Dempsey as well is just setting faster lap times in that last part of the lap. He's starting to pick up lap time again to try and extend his lead at the top. But really now into the sort of last 3 or so minutes of qualifying. Jordan Kelly currently in 2nd place, our championship leader. Missing out on pole position right now by less than 2/100ths of a second. That doesn't seem like much, but when you're talking about the GT4s in the Aston Martins around Sebring here, it's sort of 1 corner really. You get 1 corner better than the last, or your last lap, I should say, and you really do start to find your groove once again. Sean McGoldrick saying, evening all, can't race tonight, so watching with my feet up, watching Gantry TV. Well, Sean, welcome along. A nice little break for you, I'm sure. Unfortunately, you've got me to deal with tonight, but that's by the by. We'll cope with that, I'm sure. So it is Peter Dempsey currently on top as we head towards the closing stages of qualifying, the final couple of minutes now of this 15-minute session. So really, if you cross the line now, you've got 1 last chance to get a lap time on the board. And for Economelia, that is a case here as you're around the final corner. Currently 8th fastest. And really, when you look at all the intervals between each driver, it's mightily close across the field. So great to see within the top 10. And Economelia then backs out. So I think that's his qualifying done and dusted. Jordan Kelly then making his way through Sunset Bend and onto the final straight. And if he decides he wants it, he can go 1 last time. Crossing the line, does he improve? No, not that time, but he was setting a purple mini sector at the last. But I think he's also backed out of it, so they might not have the fuel to go for another lap. So this might be a last lap for a lot of drivers. It's a very long lap here at Sebring. You are full throttle for quite some time around this lap as well. Well, that's a little bit too deep there then from Ronan Doherty going in towards the back end of the lap, and he's abandoned that lap completely there. Adam Dowling now making his way through in towards Genderbend Bend, through in towards Le Mans, and he'll make his way on towards the Allman Straight. How's he getting along for lap time? He's trying to, well, certainly putting some furious rubber onto the track to try and get himself further up the field. He'll want to try and get himself into the top 10 at the very least. Through in towards the final corner we go as we watch on with the helicopter underneath the bridge, and he'll make his way now down the start-finish straight towards the start-finish line, and he will take the checkered flag, and that will bring an end to our qualifying session here. So that will be Peter Dempsey then on pole position, and then it's going to be Jordan Kelly in 2nd place, Ronan Doherty in 3rd with Robert Moore 4th, Dylan McClements is in 5th place, Sean McClements in 6th, so it's a McClements row 3, Brian McManus in 7th with Conor Mealy in 8th, Ryan Ware in 9th, and Jamel Gandor rounds off the top 10, and it's Adam Dowling in 11th place, Peter McCann in 12th, Lawrence de Sosva is in 13th place with Evan Walsh in 14th, Then it's Alexander Milchin in 15th place, and then it's Chan Wing-Fei 16th, Finlay Melvin in 17th, Stephen Donnelly is in 18th place with John McDonnell in 19th, Peter Duke rounding off the top 20. Then it's Colin O'Regan who's in P21. And Stephen O'Keefe is P22. And we have Dermot Tooney who's in P23. Simon Hutchings rounding off the 12th row of the grid. And we're almost ready to go racing here at Sebring. Well, of course, the news then that here at the TH Jordan RTA GT4 Cup, of course, Kevin's no longer with us for the rest of the series. He's gone till July, so that meant the last 3 rounds they came up with the name Kevin for Kevin and Evan. It was a very creative name. It's no more for GT4. It'll come back, I'm sure, for next season. I'm sure of it. Well, we're not long now till the race, and we're going for our rolling start here. So Peter Dempsey will be starting in that preferred position. Jordan, yes, and Kelly and Peter Dempsey sharing that front row. It is Peter Dempsey at the start of the order, and then it'll be Ronan Doherty in 3rd place there. But are we going for a full lap? I think we are. We are going for the full lap. So our drivers get to take the scenic route around Sebring. So we're looking at qualifying laps of about 2:11. So we've probably got about, I would say, 3.5 minutes before we have the drivers getting ready to take the start here. It gives us plenty of time, though, to talk about some battles to keep our eye on. And then, of course, Jordan Kelly, our championship leader, leading the way here on 218 points ahead of Dylan McClements on 179. And Dylan McClements starting on the 3rd row of the grid. So we'll have to see if he can play the rear in some vital points to get him up out at the middle in play. One for each shade before into first race, looking for 1 point or 2 pairs. The Gantry since 11, so there's a chance car at the ordinary 8 ampere chart. It's 1:10 on the race, 10-minute race. Be the grade set by the previous, and then we have 2 minutes to decide the race. And there's 3 20-minute race, and we reverse the top 8 from race 2. So Peter Dempsey then, what can he do from this position? Try and get himself some vital points in the championship then. So we're heading on now to the back end of the circuit. Our drivers now making their way through Genderbin Bend. And then they'll head their way through in towards Le Mans Curve and onto the Oldman Straight. So we're almost ready to go racing here for round 4. It will be of, it's in the Aston Martins, the TH Jordan RTA GT4 Cup. I've just been corrected. It is technically round 5, but Spa round 4 was cancelled. So is this round 4 or round 5? It's like if that dress was black and blue or white and gold. They've called it round 5. So we'll call it round 5 then. Round 5 here at Sebring. In our American stint of the TH Jordan RTA GT4 Cup. And we can see then Peter Dempsey, Jordan Kelly sharing the front row. It's a, we never came up with a collective noun of Aston Martins, didn't we? It's a gaggle of Aston Martins right behind the pace car Porsche as we head our way through in towards Sunset Bend. For race number 1 here on Gantry TV, let's see how the field behaves itself heading into turn 1 for the very first time. And we get going here. Green flag gets waving. We are underway then, and it's a good start from Peter Dempsey ahead of Jordan Kelly then. So he's got himself up into the lead and he's able to take really whatever line he likes. Jordan Kelly will try and make him think twice about that though. Ronan Doherty follows them through in 3rd place, and it's really the pack following through here. a single file up until about 7th place there, and we've got some movers up and down the field. Jamal Gandor is trying to find his way through the order as well, as we see Jordan Kelly here has dropped down to 4th place, so not the best start for our championship leader, and he's now behind Dylan McClement. So McClement, starting on the 3rd row of the grid, has got himself up into 3rd place, but there goes Jordan Kelly then down the inside in towards the hairpin turn, and he's got that position straight back, so he's back up into 3rd place, but Dylan McClement is going to chase him all the way, that's for sure. Robert Moore is right behind him then in that Castrol liveried Aston Martin. As we see here, Dowling here is trying to get some moves done as well. He's right behind Jamal Gandor as we head our way through in towards Cunningham Corner. And we've got the Collier curve and tower turn coming up here. It's quite a narrow circuit as well, so overtaking opportunities will be limited. Although if you're Jordan Kelly, you've instantly proved me wrong, as we've got a trouble in the background here. That's someone dropping down the order. That looked like Peter Duke, who was falling down the order then. So, oh yeah, that's someone rejoining, and that is Peter Duke. So he's been off a rallycross there, onto the grass at the very least. Didn't quite see what happened to him, but he's trying to see if he can get his way. Let's see what did happen to Peter Duke then. So here he is in the 77 now. Did he get a helping hand onto the grass? He looks slightly isolated there. He's lost the back end and straight into the Armco there. Significant damage to the front left of the car, and there you can see it's completely caved in, unfortunately, there for Peter Duke. That's such a shame for the 77. He was looking to try and work his way through the order. Meanwhile then, we can see Brian McManus, who's trying to get his way up the order then. And as we see, McClements is into the pits. So that's Sean McClements, who's now in the pits. As we watch on here, seeing if we can see what happened just then. A lot's happened in the opening 2 minutes of this race. Sean McClements then. What happens here? Does he just dive into the... No, or a disconnect? Oh, he clips the wall. He clips the wall on the outside and goes for a spin and spin. It seems like it never ends for Sean McClements. And that is the danger. You run that close to the wall on the outside of Sunset Bend. And that, unfortunately, is what happens for Sean McClements. As we see a battle here, trying to fester up here, as Ware tries to find his way through. We see Evan Walsh trying to make a move here around the outside. No way through that time around. But, oh no, that's Evan who's found a spin there. Evan Walsh, who's spun around. It's all kicking off here at Sebring. And if you're at the front of the order, if you're Peter Dempsey or Ronan Doherty, you're absolutely flying away because everything's happening behind you there. So we've seen 3 cars off in the space of 3 minutes, really. But Peter Dempsey leading the way then. Cool as you like right now. Ronan Doherty following him through. Jordan Kelly is in 3rd place there. There's our championship leader. Just there he is, following right behind. And then we have Dylan McClements in 4th place, with Robert Moore rounding off the top 5. Then it's Brian McManus in 6th place, Ryan Ware in 7th, Conor Melia in 8th place. Loris de Sosva, by the way, from 13th place up into the top 10. He's currently running in 9th place. A little bit of a distance between himself and Conor Melia, but in all honesty, with all the action that's happened all around, he's up into 9th place, and we'll keep an eye and see if he can close in on that gap up ahead to Conor Melia. And it really was all change behind them, wasn't it? Going through there. Expecting those bumps through Sunset Bend. So critical. We've already seen it catch out Sean McClements through that final corner. And you just run slightly too wide. You try and take advantage too much, and it will bite back, Sebring. There is Brian McManus, who's currently running in 6th place in the first race of tonight. And we're almost at half distance already. So much has happened here. And there is Mark Ivory, who is now up into P20. So it's been a good race start for Mark Ivory. He's really kept himself to himself because he started outside of that top 24. He's now up into 20th place. So good start for Mark Ivory. And he's giving here Simon Hutchings a run for his money. Brian McManus here is having to defend from Ryan Ware, though. And he tries to close that door. Does McManus? Does so indeed. And Ryan Ware, no way through for him that time around. Brian McManus, though, and Ryan Ware battling away. Con Amelia has got them both in their sights and will be the first driver to try and take that opportunity here as Ryan Ware thinking about a move, maybe just filling those mirrors at the moment of Brian McManus in the number 5, riding on board now with Ryan Ware as he takes us through the back end of the circuit then. And right behind him, though, as well, is Con Amelia, so really can't take anything for granted here. And a little bit of a tail-happy moment as we headed our way through Tower Turn there. And now down the Flying Fortress straight into Bishop Bend. Ryan Ware on board the bonnet briefly as we head in towards Genderbend Bend. We'll head our way through and towards Le Mans Curve. Good 3-car battle here right now for what is 6th place in race number 1 here. And Ryan Ware thinking about a couple of moves, but Con Amelia's got a great run through that twisting section. And if he gets the toe on Ryan Ware and gets the line right through into Sunset Bend, he might have a chance here in towards turn 1. It's such a difficult place to get moves done here. And Con Amelia opts for a wider line in towards the final corner to try and cut back in and try and carry some momentum through. It can spit you wide if you're not careful, that line, but not for Con Amelia. He's kept it all nice and under wraps. As meanwhile, Ronan Doherty is putting some pressure now on Peter Dempsey, and they all run wide, the top 3, trying to follow each other through. And that's allowing the likes of Dylan McClements and Robert Moore to close up on this battle. So we will have a 5-car battle for the lead of this race heading into the closing stages. Peter Dempsey has got himself ahead at the moment. Ronan Doherty in 2nd place. We're riding on board now with Jordan Kelly, our championship leader heading into tonight's first round, as he looks to see if he can find a way through. He's tucked up right behind Ronan Doherty, though, as we make our way through in towards the Fangio chicane now. And Ryan Ware, I think, off screen, has just made a move there on Brian McManus. And there you can see that battle then. Brian McManus has been passed there by Ryan Ware. You see that now. And Ryan Ware's got the move done. Is Brian McManus going to look for a move? No, he tucks back in there and cedes the position for now. So Ryan Ware's now up into 6th place. Battling between the two of them there. Now Con Amelia fancies his chances now against Brian McManus. We'll see what he can do from this position as they head their way through in towards Tower Turn. Meanwhile, battle for the lead. We're right back with it then. Peter Dempsey leads them through in towards Le Mans Curve. In towards Genderbend Bend. I always get those two mixed up. Nevertheless, the drivers aren't getting them mixed up, and that's the most important part. Peter Dempsey leads them out of Le Mans Curve. Ronan Doherty in 2nd place. And Ronan's just chilling out here, right behind him, making sure that he can see him, using that toe to close and close in towards that final corner. It's not really an overtaking opportunity, this one, but look at the trio pretty much running line of stern. I say it's not an overtaking opportunity, but there goes Ronan Doherty trying to go right up the inside of Peter Dempsey there, in through Sunset Bend. The white flag is waving. We're on to the final lap of race number 1, and Peter Dempsey just about has a nose ahead here against Ronan Doherty, and that of course is our championship leader Jordan Kelly right behind Doherty, who will be looking to try and make some positions on this final lap. But there's Dylan McClements as well. He's closed up right true and proper onto the back of this battle here. But that was Ronan Doherty, got slightly onto the grass there, might have cost him a little bit of momentum. Jordan Kelly tried to take full advantage of that, and Peter Dempsey can take a slight breath of relief right now that he's got a little bit, about 3 or 4 car lengths now between himself and Ronan Doherty, and that gap is building. Jordan Kelly would fancy his chances here, heading our way now up towards the hairpin turn. Does he look for a move down the inside here? Not quite this time. Ronan Doherty is able to hold on to 2nd place, but now Jordan Kelly is going to chase Ronan Doherty to the line. Doherty, I say that, he's now trying to, and is, reeling Peter Dempsey back in as we'll head our way towards Cunningham Corner. There you can see our top 5 all in the same picture, all still battling away for a chance to be on the podium and to try and take a victory here in race number 1. Peter Dempsey then will lead them through in towards Bishop Bend, and then we'll head our way towards Genderbend Bend before finally making our way towards Le Mans Curve, all for the final time. And it is still Dempsey leading Doherty, and then it's Kelly behind with McClements in 4th, Moore in 5th. Heading our way now into A little bit deep, perhaps. Ronan Doherty opting for a wider entry in towards Le Mans Curve, but runs a little bit wide. And Jordan Kelly almost followed him here. And, well, if we were riding on board with Ronan Doherty, if he tried a move on the last lap, he's going to try one this time. Look at Jordan Kelly. It's almost bump drafting down the Ullman Straight and in towards Sunset Bend for the final time in race number 1. And these trio has been great. Look at this again. Ronan Doherty trying for a move down the inside. Did he lose the back end slightly there? He might have done. Jordan Kelly will try and take full advantage in the toe. It's going to be Peter Dempsey who takes the victory. Second place just on our screens goes the way of Ronan Doherty. It's Jordan Kelly in third place there. Ryan McClement is in fourth with Robert Moore rounding off the top 5. Great battling for them all there. I think that's Ryan Ware is 6th place. It is with 7th place Brian McManus. And then Conor Melia started where he finished in 8th place there, with Lawrence de Sosfa finishing the race in 9th place. Alexander Milchen rounds off our top 10 here as we see our finishers making their way towards that checkered flag, a well-deserved checkered flag as well. They battled hard for this to get themselves there. Adam Dowling trying to recover this race as well. Unfortunately, he'll be starting outside of that top 20. And he'll have a lot to do in race number 2. But Peter McCann as well will be starting outside of that top 20. He did have a crash. Ronan's telling me he did have a crash early on in that race, unfortunately. Let's have a look at instant replays and see what action we missed. This was Peter McCann, and wow, riding those curves and then some for McCann. So this is at Le Mans Curve. He makes his way through. And yeah, so that's him pulling to one side. So that was, maybe he decided there that wasn't worth carrying on. Perhaps a bit of an issue, flashing the lights as well. So perhaps maybe an issue on Peter's side there. But for race 1 then, in the TH Jordan RTA GT4 Cup is done and dusted. Then Peter Dempsey takes the victory of the first round. We'll take the race 2 pole. Great battle for our top 3 heading into that one. And it sets us up very nicely for race 2. 15-minute race, which is the grid. As we see the results here in race 1, that will be our grid for race number 2. And I'm sure we'll get very much more of the same battling-wise heading into race 2. I'm sure we will. I'm thoroughly looking forward to it, seeing if likes of Ronan Doherty and Jordan Kelly can get their way back up the order. Jordan Kelly losing places at the start, though. He dropped to 4th place at one point, don't forget. So he had to really fight his way back up there, up into 3rd place. Dylan McClements then will take 4th place. And it's Robert Moore who rounds off the top 5. Ryan Ware in 6th place. Brian McManus in 7th. And then we have Conor Melia in 8th place. Lawrence de Sosfa is in 9th. Alexander Milchen is 10th. Chan Wing Fei is 11th. Finley Melvin 12th. Stephen Donnelly 13th. Stephen O'Keefe in 14th place there. And we'll see our drivers then lining up on the grid to take race number 2. So we'll head to race 2 then, and we'll have to wait and see if Peter Dempsey can make it 2 from 2. We'll get another, I'm assuming we'll get another full formation lap, a full pace lap. So we've got plenty of time to soak in the atmosphere. And well, with a full pace lap as well, for some drivers, I say some drivers if I know exactly what to do on a pace lap, and there's a reason I'm in the commentary box, everyone. Don't worry about it. But, you know, the adrenaline that runs through you, you're making sure you've got the tyres up to temperature, making sure you keep the distance to the car ahead, because really the race has pretty much got underway at that point, because you can still, you know, if you're not careful, if you're not concentrating, you can run into the car in front of you. And that is not good for anybody. It's not good for you because you get front end damage, not good for the car ahead because that gets rear damage. And we saw 3 drivers really running afoul. Sean McClements being one who did not respect the bumps through the final corner and hit the wall on the exit of Sunset Bend and found himself a little bit awry with damage and sent him falling down the order. I do know, though, is we're in for another great race. Let's see what Peter Dempsey can do from this position. and what he can really bring here in this stage. Peter Dempsey all the way down in our standings, 44th place. So he's got a lot of points to make up for this season, that's for sure. So as our pace car Porsche takes us for a scenic route of Sebring. Don't forget as well, also here on the here on Gantry TV, 16th of April at Virginia, and then we've got Road Atlanta on the 23rd. Laguna Seca is our season finale, so it really is on the 30th of April, I should say. So it really is our American stint to round off here our TH Jordan RTA GT4 Cup Series, and I've tuned into a couple of races with Ronan in the box, of course. Always spot on with the cameras, always spot on with the camera work. Thought I'd give you a shout out, Ronan, because it's lonely in here. He says cheers. That's all the appreciation we need. But of course, Kevin and Evan have taken us through the first 3 rounds of the championship, with the 4th round being cancelled. So you're stuck with me for round 5 here. But we're coming up to race number 2, our 15-minute race that was set by the grid of the previous race results. There is Peter Dempsey looking to make it a 2nd race win tonight here at Sebring. Could this be a man to stop him, our championship leader in Jordan Kelly? He'll be starting from 3rd place. Ronan Doherty, though, as well, will be quick on his heels to try and change that, of course. And we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out as we head on to the back end of the circuit, ready and waiting to take this race start. Peter Dempsey absolutely nailed the race start in race number 1. Well, let's see what he can do this time around. We'll head our way in towards the final corner here, ready and waiting here for race number 2, as Peter Dempsey takes the widest line he possibly can to try and get the power down, and it looks like he's gone for it now. Through the final corner we go, and he'll make his way on towards the start-finish straight with the green flag waving. He's already trying to break the toe there, as Ryan McClements has to make sure he's got the wherewithal there, with the likes of Doherty and Kelly trying to dive in and take the racing line. We're almost going too wide through there. Ryan Ware's looking to try and take advantage. Robert Moore is trying to make his way up the order, currently 5th place. But now we make our way through. Ryan Ware's looking for an inside move here, perhaps, trying to make his way up the order. He's trying to find a way past Robert Moore. Hasn't found it just yet. Further down the order then, we have the likes of Orange Sososfo as well in 9th place. But there we can see is John McDonald trying to get some positions here. But there, Peter Dempsey leading the line then as we head our way up towards the hairpin bend. For the very first time, Jordan Kelly follows him behind in 2nd place, with Ronan Doherty in 3rd. And then it's Ryan McClements in Dylan McClements in 4th place. Robert Moore is in 5th place. And that is Chanwing Fei moving and trying to get some positions here as we head our way onwards then towards the right-hander. And he's currently there in 13th place. It's unlucky if someone's gone straight off the track there, well off into the tyre wall there. It's Sean McClements again. Sean McClements has run afoul once again, and he really did exit stage right there off the track, or at least off of our screens. We'll have to see if there was some assistance there. Meanwhile, Robert Moore is going side by side here as we head our way through. Robert Moore able to just about fend off the attack there of Ryan Ware. Ware means business there as he looks to try and find a way past. So we'll see if we can find what happened to Sean McClements later on. But for now, we've got a great battle on our hands. Let's see. I'm assuming this is going to be Sean McClements because he really did slide off the track. Let's see what happened there. Was there any assistance at all? He goes to put on the brakes. There's a tap from the car behind. That'll do it. And unfortunately for Sean, he will find... he does keep it out of the barriers though, but he did get a whack up the rear, unfortunately, going in towards the next corner. So that would have been at Cunningham Corner. So very unfortunate for Sean McClements, because now he's been in the war twice in 2 races tonight. There's Evan Walsh then, looking to see if he can get through past Wingfei Chan. And Wingfei runs a little bit wide through that corner, and it allows actually the car behind him to get up a position as well. So unfortunately for and Ronan Doherty has crashed as well. So we have lost Ronan Doherty somewhere out on track. Let's see if we can have a look at what happened. So this is through the final corner. Is this a case of not respecting the bumps, I wonder? Through the final corner, you have to run close to that outside wall, and Ronan Doherty clips the outside wall. And that is what Sean McClements did in race number 1. Those are the fine margins you have to run here at Sebring. You always run the risk there of that outside wall really catching you off guard. So that's going to promote then Dylan McClements up into 3rd place. Robert Moore then is in 4th place, as we now watch the battle on for 1st place between Peter McCann and Jordan Kelly. And Kelly here knows he wants to try and get past here. Peter Dempsey, as we'll ride on board now, heading away in towards Gendabin Bend. Right on his tail now. A longer race, so more opportunities to get some moves done. But when we're talking an increase of 5 minutes, you're talking an increase of maybe 2 to 3 laps. I'm probably siding on 3 laps here. But Dylan McClements is looking to close in and reel in that battle as well. Riding on board with Jordan Kelly as he gets closer and closer. Pulls out of the toe and now looks up the inside in towards Sunset Bend. We are going to go too wide through here as Jordan Kelly attacks the inside of the final corner here. And he'll get the power down. Peter Dempsey might get the power down earlier than him down the start-finish straight. But that is a move signed, sealed and delivered by Jordan Kelly, and he will move himself up into the lead of this race, heading our way down towards turn 1. So that's Peter Dempsey now into 2nd place. Dylan McClements rounding off the top 3 with Robert Moore in 4th place. Ryan Ware in 5th with Brian McManus rounding off the top 6. Conor Melia is now up into 7th place with that incident for Ronan Doherty. So Jordan Kelly now, can he try and get the power down and pull away here from Peter Dempsey? That seemed to be the game plan for race 2, trying to open up that gap as quickly as he possibly can, as we'll head away up towards the hairpin bend. Battle in the background there as well, as Robert Moore feels the need to go slightly defensive against Ryan Ware. There's Conor Melia in that Martini Aston Martin, starting to put the pressure on Brian McManus up ahead of him. But he's also joined by Lawrence de Sosva, who's now, of course, up into 8th place. There's Melia here, just filling those mirrors at the moment. He is thinking about it and then tucks back in. So just thinking about filling the mirrors there of Brian McManus. Just to remind him that he's still there in that beautiful Martini liveried Aston Martin. On board then with Lawrence de Sosva, currently in P8, as he makes his way now through Tower Turn. He'll make his way onto the Flying Fortress Straight in through Bishop Bend. And is there a way he can find a way past Conor Melia as we approach? In fact, we've passed the 3rd distance. We're 6 minutes into this race, and Lawrence de Sosva trying to attack the car ahead of Conor Melia, but he's also got to be careful of Alexander Melchin right behind him. As, of course, I do say the best form of defence is attack sometimes, isn't it? Or is it the other way around? Either way, they're both good tactics, aren't they? At any point in a race. De Sosva then looking to see if he can sneak away up the inside of Conor Melia through the final corner. And meanwhile then, Adam Dowling is looking for a move here to try and get himself past Simon Hutchings, which he does up the inside. And it's brave driver to go up the inside there when you know full well that the track can spit you right out to the outside. And as we've already seen for 2 of our drivers, is that the case? Lawrence de Sosva then finds a line side by side with Conor Melia as de Sosva goes down the inside, get the power down, and he will get the line. So de Sosva moves himself up into 7th place, and Alexander Milchin, well, he fancies his chances too, and Conor Melia, in the space of about 3 corners, has lost 2 positions and is now down to 9th place. There's our lead battle then. Jordan Kelly leading the way, Peter Dempsey in 2nd place, and then it's Dylan McClements rounding off the top 3. Top 3 have started to break away from the rest of the pack. It's Robert Moore who is in 4th place. Ryan Ware is chasing him in the 616. There you can see 4th and 5th place. Just briefly saw 6th place. There's Evan Walsh, who's trying to find a line down the inside here. Can he find a way past Stephen O'Keefe? Going in towards Tower Turn. He can indeed. Sorry, that's Cunningham Corner. I'm ahead of myself. There's Stephen Donnelly then with the, would you call it teal blue? Teal blue and purple wheels. It's certainly recognisable. You are not going to miss that car if it's in a pack there. Racing in the number 12. Of course, that's the number I'd race with. There's a good chance that I'd be racing with that number if I get the chance. There's a Chan Wing Fei then. See, trying to put the pressure on, but runs very wide in towards the penultimate corner there. Might have cost him a little bit of time. 2 cars behind him. John McDonald might see if they can try and close up on that gap. See Lawrence de Sosfa then making his way through the final corner, currently in 7th place. And I suppose he was sort of hoping that Conamelia would hold up Alexander Milchin for a little bit, but that didn't quite happen. De Sosfa just has to keep an eye on the mirrors as well as try and close down on Brian McManus. Meanwhile, there's Stephen Donnelly then looking for a move up the inside here of Stephen O'Keefe. In towards the first corner we go. And he might get spat back out wide, and he does. He tried to take too much speed into the entrance of the corner, and in trying to attack for one position, he's then lost that position he tried to gain against David Prunty there. So Prunty moved himself back ahead of that blue and purple Sean Stephen Donnelly. So that's what happens if you just try and dive a move up the inside there, just carrying too much speed through that corner, and it's cost him a position rather than him gaining one. And Wing Fei right behind the number 12 car here of Stephen Donnelly. So, oh, that's car running wide there. That is Prunty running wide, and so that's going to hand an opportunity here. The grey car handing a silver platter to the blue car of Stephen Donnelly, but the silver platter's not as silver as we might think, as Chan Wing Fei wants to get involved as well. Stephen Donnelly does well there to take that position back from Stephen Prunty. Meanwhile, then battle for the lead as Peter Dempsey gets a line down the inside, heading our way through Gendon Bend, and he gets the move done, although I think it was Jordan Kelly who ran wide off the track. So we'll have to see if we can find Jordan Kelly running wide. This will be it here. Let's see what happened to Jordan Kelly, who was in the lead of the race then at the time. We'll see him tackle this is into Bishop Bend. Oh yeah, he gets onto the sand there. That allows then Peter Dempsey to get himself alongside. And it's the inside line first of all, but of course that becomes the outside line when you head towards Le Mans Curve, which is obviously the line you want to take at that point. Now running side by side now through the final corner and onwards towards the start-finish line. There's nothing between them right now. Jordan Kelly just about has a nose ahead, but now Peter Dempsey has the momentum, heading our way down towards turn 1. He's got the inside line, but we've seen Sean McClements try a move like this. It leaves you open to the switchback. Jordan Kelly tries exactly that as we head our way now up towards turn 2. They're still running side by side. Dylan McClements having a front row seat. Jordan Kelly getting the inside line and gets the move back. Inherits the lead once again. Great stuff between these two. They are not giving each other any more space than they need to. It's the perfect amount of space to go racing, and Jordan Kelly gets himself back up into the lead. And I have to say, very jealous of Dylan McClements because he's got a great view of that battle. I think at some point he's just going to hold back, see what the two ahead of him do, because he knows in the next race, if he finishes here, he'll be starting ahead of them and he can try and defend from that position. You don't think that far ahead as a driver. You just want to get the positions now. I know that because I've seen it happen. You've got drivers who will just completely forget that, for example, there's a reverse grid next time around because you want to win every time. There's Conamelia then, who is now trying to find a way past. Is he trying to find a way past Alexander Milchin? He is. And running right up the rear of that Aston Martin ahead of him in the Martini livery. Conamelia trying to find a different line, but sometimes in doing so you can throw off your own line. So you have to be careful in doing stuff like that. Got plenty of practice as well then as Conor Melia, because he's competing in Mondello as well and won the rookie class. He's got plenty of racing underneath him, so he'll be having a great old time here anyway. He's got Milchen and De Sosfer ahead of him, and just up the road as well he's got Brian McManus. So that's going to turn into a good six-car battle, a sixth place battle. Final lap of the race then, the white flag has been waved and Jordan Kelly leads the way then. Peter Dempsey is in second place and Dylan McClements, who's been enjoying this one, I think, rounding off the top three. Through turn one we go. And well, this could be a case here. Peter Dempsey might go for this here. In towards turn two we go. He decides to brake later, slightly misses that apex, gets a little bit tail happy, and that might just invite Dylan McClements to apply a little bit more pressure onto the back of Peter Dempsey. Of course, Dempsey won out the first race. Jordan Kelly decides this time he wants to win this one, and it will leave it to the tiebreaker, won't it, into the last round if it were to finish like this between the two of them. Dylan McClements, though, is very much assured that he wants to be further up that podium. He might leave it to the final lap to just see if he can sneak a move somewhere. I think he's happy with third, but if he were to gain a two position, or maybe even two in the final lap, because of the top two battling away with each other, he'll certainly take that. I think he's just biding his time, waiting for the right opportunity. It is the final lap, though, so he hasn't got many opportunities left. Heading now in towards Tower Turn, and that's Peter Dempsey getting up close and personal with the rear end of Jordan Kelly. We head now down the Flying Fortress straight into Bishop Bend. And now heading our way towards Genderman Bend for the final time in this race. We head our way towards Le Mans Curve shortly. It's all about the lines through here now. It's all about the run up towards Sunset Bend. We watch on from the helicopter here. Peter Dempsey, can he try and close in the toe then? He is starting to close now. Is it going to be a move here for Peter Dempsey? Will he try and move up the inside? We've seen already here that you can be vulnerable to the switchback. I don't think he's quite close enough. He'll try a long way round move though. That might suit him. He's got to try something to see if he can switch back, get the power down earlier. Coming towards the start-finish line with the checkered flag ready and waiting. It's going to be Jordan Kelly who takes the victory for race number 2. It's Peter Dempsey in second place and Dylan McClements rounds off the top 3. But it's going to be a photo finish here as we head away across the line. Conor Melia finishing just behind Alexander Milchen for that position. Then great stuff, great battling all the way through then. And some great moments to watch on and watch back as well. As Philip Upson tries to see if he can find a way through, see if he can find a late position here towards the end, but trying to make sure he sees the checkered flag as well, which he does see the checkered flag, so he'll be able to get some stuff, get some good stuff there. He was trying to find Simon Hutchings towards the end. Ronan Doherty, such a shame, but he hit the ball on the outside in about at the halfway point of this race, and cost himself a top 3 position, and a real shame there for him, for Ronan Doherty. And of course, he was trying to make his way and try and battle his way back up into the top 3 of the championship standings. That race, unfortunately, will not have done him any favours whatsoever, and he won't want to look back at that race in fondness there. So in this short little break, while we've got to reverse the top 8, we will grab in Jordan Kelly for an interview. If I can drag him in. There we go. Jordan Kelly is with us. Jordan, can you hear us?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Jordan, great stuff. I mean, past 2 races, we've seen a great battle between yourself and Peter Dempsey. Such a shame to see Ronan Doherty out at the final corner, about the halfway point. But you've got some great battling to do with Peter Dempsey. He's got 1 race, you've got 1 race. Surely this is the tiebreaker for the last one.
Yeah, just hopefully it'll be a matter of, what do you call it, just trying to not get into any incident stuff because it's a long 20-minute race and stuff. So keeping out of issues and stuff seems to be the way to go because you can make a lot of moves in 20 minutes and it's not one on the first corner. So I'll probably try and avoid some of them moves if I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for my sake, don't stop making those moves because they were great stuff. I just want to sort of hark back to race number 1 because we saw you start top on the front row, but you dropped back to 4th at the very start. I mean, it's hectic in the opening laps of Sebring. Talk to it from your point of view.
Yeah, the first lap there, the back end, very first lap, the car is so slidey, like you're nearly about to lose at every corner. But just I didn't realize it was going to be that slidey, and coming out of the second corner, it just slid out in me. So I had to get out the throttle and on the brake. So just it was better to do that than cause a spin. So now I was lucky to get back up and finish second then because me and Ronan had a photo finish then. So. That was a good wee first race, but I'm sweating buckets here. Like it's such a demanding track, like especially with VR and stuff on you. It's it gets hot in there, it's for sure.
I'm afraid you've got another 20-minute race. I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
afraid to say it because I think you're relishing the chance
Yeah, I
to
know.
open up that championship lead a little bit more. But I mean, that final corner, they talk about respect the bumps here. Just how treacherous is that final corner? Because we've seen 2 drivers now fall afoul of the final corner.
Yeah, it seems to be. It's very bumpy on the inside, but a lot of people seem to take it on the outside. But if you can take over the bumps, you can gain a bit of time and stuff. But it's just a wee bit sketchy and stuff. And then if you if you cause yourself to run wide, you're hitting that wall on the outside, and it's just causing you to spin like Ronan showed there. So hopefully it won't be any of that. But it will be an interesting reverse grid now in this third race. But hopefully we'll be talking to you again.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, you're starting from 8th place, of course, in this reverse grid race. You've got Peter Dempsey starting ahead of you. Dylan McClements as well was keeping up with the both of you as well. How do you rate your chances then? Could you take the win in race 3?
Yeah, Dylan has good pace, so I don't know. I'm hoping for a podium anyway, so I'll put that in the cards. But anything more than that is a bonus, I think.
Great stuff, Jordan. I'll leave you to sort of prepare for race number 3, but good luck and thank you for having a chat with us.
Thank you.
Jordan Kelly there, championship leader coming into tonight's race and looking for at least a podium in the final race. And why not? It's a good target to set with the likes of Peter Dempsey and Dylan McClements starting ahead. You've also got the hard-charging Ryan Ware, who's up for a battle. It's actually, we saw Alex Mielchen and Conor Melia battle their way towards the line. Of course, that was for a spot on the reverse grid pole because Alexander Mielchen got himself into 8th place. He will start on the reverse grid pole. So a big chance for Mielchen to get himself some very valuable points. For Conor Melia, though, he'll have to start in 9th place. Lawrence de Sosfa then will start 2nd place on the grid. He finished 7th in the last one. So then Brian McManus will start 3rd, Ryan Ware in 4th, Robert Moore in 5th, with Dylan McClements in 6th, Peter Dempsey 7th, with Jordan Kelly 8th, and then it's Conor Melia in 9th place, Evan Walsh in 10th, Finley Melvin in 11th place, Stephen O'Keefe in 12th, Stephen Donnelly in 13th, David Prunty 14th, and Chan Wing Fei, who rounds off our top 15. And of course, from that point, we have drivers who finished in that race starting in those grid positions. So 1 race to go then, a 20-minute race where we reverse the top 8. It's just those GP2 and F2 vibes there. Of course, we've got another, Ronan saying to me, we've got another pace lap. Well, that's okay because we've got me in the talk box and I can waffle. It's my special talent. So we're all right. Don't forget, though, as well, we've got 3 rounds to go here in the TH Jordan RTA GT4 Cup. We've got the final race here upcoming, but we've also got a trip across America. We've got the Virginia International Raceway on the 16th of April. Road Atlanta on the 23rd of April is our penultimate round, and we finish the season on the 30th of April at Laguna Seca here on Gantry TV. So make sure you do subscribe so you don't miss another round. A huge thank you as well to our sponsors in TH Jordan for sponsoring the GT4 Cup. Now, it's all a little bit tense and nerve-wracking as we await the grid to be formed up, await our drivers to take their spot on the grid as well. But with our timing screens making their way onto the screen, it's pretty good. we've got the cars forming up now, so we will have a pace lap in shortly. Dylan McClements, meanwhile, of course, he starts this race from 5th place. That's right. Yes, that's right. No, 6th place. He'll start from 6th place. He did become the youngest winner in RTA, at least during sort of the Gantry TV area, with a Heat 3 win at the Monza round 2 weeks ago. So if he can get himself up and about there, he will absolutely love that. Rona's just saying to me there that probably worth mentioning that Dylan McClements is about half Ronan's height and still beating everyone out on the grid. So I don't. I noticed Rona didn't include me in that, and wisely so, because I could be beaten by anybody. It's easy. You only need to take my only entrance in an endurance race, which was the Suzuka 10-hour iRacing special event a couple of years ago. Jack Canaan and I were on the same team at that point. I know, unlikely alliances, but we were. And Jack put it on pole, which is great. And unfortunately, 3 laps in, he fell afoul of 130R. But it's okay, because we recovered to 5th from last. Great times. Rory said, don't mention Kevin and his experience at Sebring, because it's not good. Well, I won't mention it, Ronan, but I'm glad you've mentioned it, because then it means I didn't. Easy. Easy. Ah, semantics. I love them. Well, we're coming into the final race then here at Sebring for the TH Jordan RTA GT4 Cup. And we have Alexander Milchin starting on that reverse grid pole. Lawrence de Solsfer starts in 2nd place. And then it'll be Brian McManus in 3rd place. Ryan Ware in 4th. Robert Moore in 5th place with Dylan McClements in 6th. Peter Dempsey in 7th with Jordan Kelly in 8th. And then it's going to Conor Melia in 9th place. Evan Walsh is in 10th with Finley Melvin in 11th place. Stephen O'Keefe in 12th with Stephen Donnelly in 13th place. David Prunty in 14th place. Chan Wing Fei is in 15th. We've got Jamal Gandor is in 16th place. Adam Downing 17th. And John McDonald rounding off our top 18 drivers. Of course, we do have to mention Ronan Doherty, who had that instant last race. Expect him to come through the field and with a vengeance here. He starts outside the top 20. He starts 23rd on this race. So we shall keep an eye on him, of course. There he is. And, well, he'll be absolutely looking for a harder charge through the field. Last season's champion. And he'll be looking to see if he can recover some points. Of course, with no Belgian, because the round was cancelled due to iRacing issues, there are no dropped rounds this season. I'm sure Ronan would have loved to have dropped this round in particular, considering the fact that he might not score as many points as he wants. But that's not going to happen. He needs to get his way up the order, get in some point-scoring positions and high point-scoring positions. This point is a recovery drive. And he's got 20 minutes to make as many positions as he possibly can. That said as well, his rivals up there, Jordan Kelly, for example, starting from 8th place, has to make his way through the order as well. So if he can limit the amount of points lost to the likes of Jordan Kelly, he might consider that at least something to salvage. Well, our runners now are making their way onto the back straight. That can only mean one thing. We're almost ready for our final race of the night here at Sebring, and it's Alexander Milchen who will start on that reverse grid pole, and the gaggle of Aston Martins following the pace car Porsche as it'll make its way through Sunset Bend. But at least the pace car the final time. For us, we've got 20 minutes of action on the clock and plenty of racing to get us to the line. It'll be Alexander Milchen who will lead the pack then towards the start-finish line. And when will he decide to go for it? I think he's gone for it. Alexander Milchen then will get this race underway. We are green flag racing here at Sebring, and Lawrence de Solsfer here is in trouble because he's already got Brian McManus down the inside looking to take up a position. Watch out as well for Peter Dempsey in that light blue car trying to find some positions off the start. A good start then from Brian McManus. He's found himself up into 2nd place. Robert Moore, meanwhile, looking for a move potentially up the inside of Lawrence de Solsfer. No way through there. Oh, we've got a car off in the background. It's Stephen O'Keefe who's fallen a foul going through in towards the hairpin, turn 2 there. But look at this now, a battle for the top three. Peter Dempsey as well trying to find his way through the order. He's now right behind Robert Moore. So he's up into 5th place. And now he'll try to see if he can find a way through. Jordan Kelly's trying to follow him through. Jordan Kelly now switching his line to see if he can find a way back up the inside here of Peter Dempsey. No way through. They're still running side by side for now, but they have a very much a Robert Moore shaped car right ahead of them as they head their way through in towards the closing stages of the lap. They'll head their way towards Tower Turn. Peter Dempsey filling the mirrors there of Robert Moore. No way through so far. Dylan McClements has done well to follow through as well. He's dropped 2 positions, but of course those are to Jordan Kelly and Peter Dempsey. We watch then Evan Walsh trying to get up the order here. Evan Walsh trying to go up the inside. I think that's of Jamal Gandor, which he does do. Gets a position to boot as well. So he's up to 11th place. Peter Dempsey still running side by side here with Jordan Kelly. Kelly's still got the inside line for the next quarter. He'll have to back out of that one. And Dylan McClements might have the advantage momentum-wise. He can't use anything with it right now. And Dempsey and Jordan Kelly really battling with each other. They're losing time to each other right now. For the rest of the field, I don't think they care right now. They might care later on. As Dylan McClements fancying a move up the inside. Right behind him is here as well is Ryan Ware, who's proved himself to be no slouch right now. Ryan Ware looking for a move round the outside, but that's someone running very deep in towards Sunset Bend. It's very understeer if you get the wrong line. And, well, we've got Dylan McClements who's come into the pits then. Dylan McClements in the pits. And I wonder if he picked up damage on that last lap. Either way, he's into the pits. And falling, he will fall down the order. Conor Melia is now trying to find moves up the order as well. Trying to find a way past the likes of Ryan Ware. Meanwhile, at the top of the order then, Alexander Milchin trying to hang on to this lead as long as he can. Brian McManus, though, trying to get down the inside in towards turn 2. We'll get the power down. Riding on board now with Lawrence de Sosva as we will head our way through the Gurney Bend, heading our way towards the Hairpin Bend. And de Sosva using the slipstream here of Milchin to see if he can find a way past Brian McManus down the inside. Robert Moore as well has joined this quartet, or to make it a quartet, I should say. De Sosva, has he found the inside line on Brian McManus? No, he hasn't. Has to tuck that in. Now, though, he's got Robert Moore on his inside as we'll head our way through in towards Bishop Bend. Side by side they run. I think de Sosva, yes, he has backed out of that one. So Robert Moore moves himself up into those podium positions. But if you take a look behind them, look who's joined the party. It's the likes of Peter Dempsey, Jordan Kelly, Ryan Ware, Conor Melia. Will all be eager and itching to get some positions here in this reverse grid race. Watch out for Robert Moore here. Now fancying his chances against Brian McManus. As we head our way through Genderbend Bend, through Le Mans Curve we will go. So it's Milchin still leading the way. McManus second, Moore in third. And there's the rear view of McManus. And you can see there's 5 cars behind him right now, all wanting his second place. Robert Moore using that toe. Will he look for an inside line here in towards Sunset Bend? It's a corner where you can easily understeer. So you've got to chime it absolutely right here. And look at Brian McManus attacking Sunset Bend then. Really confident to take some speed through there. And as we make our way on towards the start finish straight, Robert Moore pretty much matching the line that McManus took. And he's right behind him now. Moore moves to the inside line to try and take turn 1. But Brian McManus covers that off. 1 move to the inside, 1 move back to the racing line to defend that position. So McManus has done the maximum he's allowed to do to defend there, and he's defended that position well. It's allowing Alexander Milchin, though, to take and keep the lead, preserve that lead. Jordan Kelly is right onto the back of Peter Dempsey, desperately trying to find a way past at the moment. They've got Lawrence de Sosva ahead of them as well. We have Ryan Ware, who's been up and about there. Here goes Peter Dempsey, though, as Lawrence de Sosva takes to the left-hand side. And Peter Dempsey laid on the brakes. Yeah, Lawrence de Sosva looks like he's just conceding those positions because up the inside as well goes Jordan Kelly. He's still going to run side by side with them. But I think he's going to cede those positions. I think he might know that maybe that's not his battle today. And if he lets them through, he can try and follow them through, which is not a bad idea in the slightest. Follow their line. all the way through. But in doing so, Ryan Ware has just walked through the open door that Lawrence de Sosva left there and has taken that position. So Ryan Ware up into 6th place now. And perhaps he can try and make his way up the order. We'll keep an eye on him as well. Milchin still leading the way. Ronan Doherty, though, is up 10 places. So a fantastic race for him so far, as he's right behind Stephen Donnelly for 13th place. In fact, he's looking up the inside now to try and take P13 away. He's on the outside of Genderman Bend, on the inside of Le Mans Curve, and he's got that position done and dusted. Oh, but that's a tag from behind. And that's Stephen Donnelly. It's David Prunty who's collected the back of Donnelly there, clipped the rear left quarter, or rear right quarter panel, I should say. Just going in there, it was a hectic Le Mans Curve there. And Robert Moore and Peter Dempsey, they're falling down the order. Let's see what happened here. Is this going to be a sort of duo combined here? Robert Moore and Peter Dempsey. Let's keep an eye on them here through the final corner. So Dempsey goes for it, launches up the inside, and does he understeer into him? Potentially. And wow, that's big. That's both of them pretty much out of this race, unfortunately. That's going to be heavy rear end damage to both cars. So unfortunate for them, because it's taken Peter Dempsey out of this race. So it's now going to allow the likes of Jordan Kelly to see if he can really take advantage of this. He had quite a lead coming into this, ahead of the likes of Dylan McClements. Side by side, though, Rowan Doherty is moving up the order here. And another position gained for... gained 14 places. A really good drive as he's now got past there. And we'll see. We'll have to keep an eye on him because he's doing such a good job here of just finding a way through the order. It's always hectic here at Sebring. There's Peter McCann, as he's currently running in 15th place behind Chan Wing Fei. And heading our way now in towards Cunningham Corner. Have a look here, sorry, towards Tower Turn. Our leaders now, Alexander Milchin leading the way. We'll head our way through in towards Bishop Bend. This is a real opportunity here for Jordan Kelly to try and take a race victory here. It would make it 2 versus 1 against Peter there, so we'll keep an eye on him. Peter Dempsey's fallen all the way down to P25, so it looks like he's still running in the field, but he'll have major damage to that car. I do wonder if he will be able to make his way back through. It wouldn't surprise me if he was able to catch the back of the pack and at least make a couple of positions up. There's Dowling then, who's on the outside. Ronan Doherty up the inside. That was close. That was very close to door-to-door action there. But Ronan Doherty stuck out with it and gets himself now up into 9th place. Meanwhile then, at the top of the order, that's McManus, who's looking for a move around the outside of Milchin then. With 3 wide on the exit of turn 1, heading up towards turn 2. Jordan Kelly fancies this now. He'll be on the inside. And there's contact there. And unbelievable. And there's more contact. De Sosva involved. McManus involved. As De Sosva has that half spin. Looked like it was an aided half spin in any case. But De Sosva now finds himself all the way down the order now. And that's a car moving slowly off the order as well. It's carnage in this last race. We always knew it will be in a reverse grid. It was always the potential there. But that's going to help none other than Ronan Doherty to try and get himself up the order as well. Ronan Doherty has a great chance here. A flash of the lights from the car behind them. That is Gandor. Jamel Gandor's up into 4th place. So in all that drama, Gandor's now up into 4th place. Conor Media up into 5th. It's going to run Adam Dowling into 6th place here, with Evan Walsh in 7th. And Ronan Doherty is trying to find his way up the order. So this is a great chance for Doherty here. But he has lost a couple of positions, and that's a significant amount of front end of the car missing for Ronan Doherty. And someone who was 2nd in the championship. Oh, what on earth? What's happened to Ronan Doherty? Because that's major damage. So, unfortunately, for Ronan Doherty, he's going to fall down the order, and he's running slowly as well. So he's got major damage to the front end of the car. That's so unfortunate for Ronan Doherty, who's 4th in the championship coming into tonight's racing action. We're not really sure where to look in this because Milchan now is in 3rd place. So Jordan Kelly and Ryan Ware are simply now up and away, running away with it. Here comes Jamal Gandor up the inside now of Alexander Milchan and making our way through towards Sunset Bend. And we've seen side-by-side action here. Conor Melia running behind them as well. And there's a wide berth, significant berth between the two runners here. Conor Melia up the inside now of Alexander Milchan. And, oh, don't squeeze it. Milchan is still there. Hold your line as we head our way down towards turn 1. And I think Milchan got the word from the spotter there that Melia was still there as we head our way through in towards turn 1. Melia then not untoward, sticking up the inside there, not backing down. We've got DeSosfa and I think Dylan McClements into the pits. Sorry, Ronan Doherty into the pits. Of course, he was slow running, so he's making his way back to the pits for significant repairs. I wonder if we'll see him back out just to see if he can at least take the checkered flag. It's Chan Wing Fei then running in 11th place. He's behind Dermatumi then, and we haven't spoken a lot about the B series. Dermatumi is leading the way in that series, as we see Chan Wing Fei still trying to put the pressure on, but that's allowed the likes of Peter McCann to try and sneak a move up the inside, sneak a nose up the inside of Chan Wing Fei here, but not quite. Chan just doing enough to hold firm in that position. But Peter McCann is filling the mirrors there. He really is filling those mirrors and making it very clear to Chan that he's still there. Oh, a little bit of a moment there for Dermatumi, and that was almost a commentator's curse. It happens. But that's allowed now Peter McCann to move ahead of Chan Wing Fei now. And McCann's next target will be Dermatumi for a place in the top 10. Battle for 3rd place still raging on. And we have Jamal Gandor in 3rd place. Alexander Milchan is in 4th place, but Conor Melia in 5th. And then we have Evan Walsh in 6th, Adam Dowling in 7th place. And if Finley Melvin could just keep pumping in those lap times, he'll be onto the back of this battle in no time whatsoever. Conor Melia running right behind Alexander Milchan then, as we head our way in towards Sunset Bend. And there's about 4 different lines being taken there through the final corner. I love that. Absolutely love that. Every driver feels like their line is, whoa, that's going into the wall in the background there. That was close. That was right behind Conor Melia. So that's Evan Walsh, who was into the wall there. Now, I wonder if there's going to be any damage to that car into the closing stages. Conor Melia trying to go now round the outside of Alexander Milchan through in towards turn 1. No way through that time around. Evan Walsh has got to be careful there. It almost cost him a lot there. Adam Dowling looking for a move around the outside. No way through there. Evan Walsh. Wow, he got away with that one. He really got away with that one. We've seen 2 drivers fall afoul of that wall on the outside of Sunset Bend. I think he can count his lucky stars that he's still in this one. See Jordan Kelly. Reminder that Jordan Kelly is leading this race then. We have 6 minutes to go. And it is Ryan Ware who's chasing him all the way here. As we head through. Peter McCann is trying to find a way now past Dermatumi as we head our way through in towards Collier Curve and sizing up Tower Turn here. And right on the back is Peter McCann looking for a switchback here in towards Tower. No way through. He tucks back in to the toe there of Dermatumi. But we head our way through now onwards and upwards. And Peter McCann here is in trouble. Peter McCann's in trouble. And he's gone off the circuit there. I don't know if there was contact. I didn't see any contact. But whatever the problem is for Peter McCann, there is a serious issue, unfortunately. And he's had to cede all of those positions. And he now finds himself all the way down the order, I think in 18th place now. Ronan's saying that Peter McCann upgraded to a DD set or a DD rig, so perhaps maybe some issues with that. It looked like that because it was very, well, you'd call it an unforced error, really, as there's Dylan McClements going around the outside here, trying to make some moves. And We'll see what he can do in the closing stages. Chan Wing-Fei still battling away now with Dermot Toomey as we head our way on towards the start-finish straight. Yeah, lots of drivers unfortunately running afoul. But yeah, Peter McCann's looked very much mechanical, if you can call it that, with at least the setup maybe failing him just slightly. I'm sure we'll look into that. Chan Wing-Fei, though, meanwhile, trying to go around the outside of Dermot Toomey. This is a great battle here for 10th place. And of course, you've got the others behind, like Brian McManus, Simon Hutchings, David Prunty, John McDonald, all looking to see if they can find a move here. Chan Wing-Fei still not quite finding the move on Dermot Toomey. But Toomey will be able to defend this position for a place in the top 10. Here's our battle for 3rd place, meanwhile, involving quite a few cars. 6 of them, I think. Or potentially 7. Am I counting that right? It is 7 cars involved in this battle for 3rd place. At the head of it, though, it's Jamal Gandor. And he's followed by Alexander Milchin, Conor Melia. And we've got Sean McClements there, who was looking for moves down the inside, though. Not sure if he got the move stuck. I think he was just filling the mirrors. No, he didn't get the move done there. But a chance here for Jamal Gandor to get a podium in this one. And Gandor came into tonight 25th in the standings. Meanwhile, Chan Wing-Fei has lost some positions here. So Chan's run into a little bit of an issue because there's Dermot Toomey, so he's lost 2 positions there. I wonder what happened there between them, but in any case, it's allowed Brian McManus and Simon Hutchings to gain some positions and move themselves ahead. It really is a case of you're not really sure where to look in this race, because wherever you look, there's a battle going on, and wherever you don't look, there's still that remaining battle going on. On the back then of Adam Downing is Sean McClements, who's looking for that inside line, then very close to the inside wall, but Sean McClements goes for it up the inside. He's still there. Through the final corner we go, and they'll give each other plenty of space through that final corner. Dylan McClements, they're not going to give each other space on the exit. They had the whole of Sunset Bend going through there. They gave each other the widest possible space. And then down the straight, now that's where the space disappears. That's where it evaporates. Through turn 1 they go, and Sean McClements makes sure that door is shut and locked closed, and he moves himself then up into 7th place. And there's Hutchings then trying to hold on 2 positions here. Chan Wing-Fei currently there in 12th place. And we've seen we were no short of drama in this race, have we? It's been great to watch. I'm sure if you're Jamal Gandor right now, you are absolutely loving this 3rd place there, as there was a little bit of Constantina effect right behind Sean McClements. Did Finlay Melvin slightly run into the back of Adam Dowling there? Not too sure, but it was definitely a Constantina effect into that corner. There is Jordan Kelly then, and under pressure from Ryan Ware. Now, I wonder if this is a case here of Jordan Kelly. He just knows he just has to keep a certain delta, keep a certain pace, and he'll be fine. Or if this is a case where Ryan Ware is really giving him a battle towards the end of this one. They're nearly 9 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. After the drama that happened, they kept their heads down. It's almost like they've worked together to get the gap up. And I think now Ryan Ware is starting to think, actually, a race win sounds good. And I wouldn't blame him for that either. He's got a great chance to get himself a race victory. Oh, there's contact in the background. Peter Dempsey involved. And we'll have to see if we can see that again. It was, it looked like an inside move. Aaron Dalton, the other car involved in that livery there. And we'll see. It almost looks like Dalton's a bit shell-shocked at what happened there. It was a fast pass the racetrack for it to happen. Let's see what happened between the two of them. So this is Peter Dempsey and Aaron Dalton. So there's a car right ahead of them. So Dempsey tries to go the long way around. Oh, it's a case of where, yeah, it's a case where Dalton, I don't think, expected Dempsey to actually be on the inside. So it's just a case of wherewithal of Dalton, and that's why he seems a bit shell-shocked, because he didn't expect Dempsey to be there. Up the inside then, we saw some action. It just is a case, there's so much action here, we're never sure where to look. But that's never a bad thing, as that's Melia and Milchin trying to battle away for 4th place. Melia gets the move done, and meanwhile, right behind them, there's a chance here for McClements, and Evan Walsh here to get some moves up. So Evan Walsh is now up into 5th place, and now he gets a chance to try and chase down Conor Melia in these closing stages. Sean McClemens isn't done either because he wants to move around the outside. And if you're Alexander Milchin here, this is shell shock and a half. And that's Sean McClemens onto the grass there. I don't think he'll appreciate that one. But he'll try and get himself back up to speed. And I believe here, we are onto the final lap. We haven't seen the white flag, but I'm pretty sure we're not far away from the final lap being shown here. It's so hectic. It's so crazy in this race. We're not really sure where to look, but we're looking at Jordan Kelly right now, battling away with Ryan Ware for the first place trophy. So this is the penultimate lap. There's no way they've reached the final lap at this time. Although I could be wrong. We'll keep an eye on it. Right in those bumps, right in those curbs. But we make our way through in towards the final corner. We'll head our way towards Sunset Bend, and we'll keep an eye on the start-finish line to see which flag it is going to be waved. If it's the white flag, then Jordan Kelly crossed the line with barely seconds to go. Through in towards Sunset Bend we go then. Here we go. Let's see. Was this the final lap? I think we would have seen a move here. It is going to be the final lap then. So Jordan Kelly is going to get away across the line. He will take race win number 2 in race number 3. And Ryan Ware will flash the lights behind him. He's thrilled with that one to get himself onto the podium. And it's Jamal Gandor, is it? No, it's going to be Conor Melia taking the line, is it? No, it is Jamal Gandor taking the checkered flag by mere millimeters. He secured his place on the podium there. Really great stuff. And Jamal Gandor to be onto the podium. That is great stuff for Jamal Gandor, who started this championship, or at least this race in the championship, in 25th place. And we've got Lawrence de Sosva trying to make a late move here on Aaron Dalton going through the final corner. Can de Sosva get the power down? He was involved in an incident earlier on this race. He can get the power down. He will pick up 22nd place in this race. That was some race. And then we see Mark Ivory making his way through. Dylan McClemens also trying to make his way towards the line. Driver who was second in the standings coming into tonight's racing action. And unfortunately, he's going to finish outside of that top 20, heading towards the start-finish line. But wow, that was a dramatic third and final race, wasn't it? That had a little bit of everything, a little bit of contact. There was some drama. We saw some battling for the lead, battles for third place, a photo finish for third place. I'm stopped short of thinking of anything that didn't happen in this race. I think that's a shorter list to go through of what didn't happen. What did happen, though, is Jordan Kelly picking up his second race win of the evening out of 3 and pretty much picking up the most points he could. And a near perfect record for him today. It was Ryan Ware finishing in second place, Jamal Gandor in third, a great result for him, with Conor Melia in 4th place there. The gap between them, 0.025 seconds. Evan Walsh in 5th place, Alexander Milchin is in 6th place with Sean McClemens in 7th, Adam Dowling in 8th place with Finlay Melvin in 9th, Dermot Toomey rounding off the top 10. So great action up and down the field. That really did have a little bit of everything. We'll drag Jamal Gandor into the commentary booth first and foremost, because we've got to speak to a man who just secured a podium by 2.5 100ths of a second. Jamal, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can indeed. Jamal, I mean, a podium. Fantastic stuff. A very hectic final reverse pole race. I mean, talk to us through that point of view. You got third place for an instant ahead of you, and you didn't really look back.
Yeah, that's the idea, is to be there at the spot when everyone ahead of you screw ups. And that's what I did. Exactly. It was very nice. From P16, I think I started, and I ended up P3. That's fantastic to have the second podium in RTA.
Yeah, great stuff. I mean, talk to us, because that must have been a dramatic podium for you to get it by 2 100ths. It was a photo finish between yourself and Conor Melia. I mean, out of the final corner, are you starting to think, oh no, I haven't got this?
Yeah. I have to say, it's been a while that I feel the pressure especially at the final corner when you have P3 in hand. It's an immense amount of pressure, and then exiting to the back straight, I never had an issue up until that final corner. I went a little bit more on the throttle. The car went sideways a little, and I did compromise my corner, so I had to go defensive. And I had the entry into Sunset Bend. I've been using a different line from everyone else, sticking to the inside, and it pays off really, really, really well. So I did that, and that's by itself gave me the additional push to reach the line by fractions of a second.
Great stuff. I mean, in the highlight reel we're showing with for you whilst we're chatting to you. I mean, there was a case where Brian McManus spun right beside you as well. I mean, it was a hectic race out there. What was the key to sort of keeping your cool out there?
Well, I'm used to the RTA shenanigans by now. I'm a magnet to incidents as well, so I sometimes cause some of them, to be frank. But um, to tell you the truth, it's a normal day in the business.
Great stuff, Jamal. And yeah, I'm going to leave you now. Go and celebrate your podium. It's well and truly earned. Go and celebrate. You've earned it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jamal. Great stuff for him. Starting 25th place there. Let's see who we'll get next in the box. Should we get Jordan or Ryan, Ronan? We'll get Ryan Ware in then, who finished second place in race number 3. Ryan, can you hear us?
Hello. Yes. Yes, I can.
Ryan, great to speak to you. You were challenging Jordan Kelly for a race win. Talk us through that.
I still don't know how, to be honest. I've normally been a couple of tenths a lap off Jordan, and I tend to watch his lines in practice and qualifying to figure out how to go quicker. But then people just kept crashing in front of me, and it ended up just being me and Jordan at the end. Picked up loads of freebies this one. Yeah, I was quite happy to stick with Jordan. I just chatting to him in the Discord just there. To have a couple of runs on him I'll take that. Yeah, all day.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was great to see. I mean, we saw a lot of action behind you. So it was a case of if we don't see a lot of the top two during the race, you're normally doing a good job. Was it a case of you're working with Ryan at that point, or were you trying and get that race victory?
I think I only had one genuine run, which was into the outside of a hairpin, and I think whilst that worked in race 1 with someone else, it wasn't going to work with Jordan. He just held that line, and my run was never going to beat his into the next corner. I certainly was going to try and go for it, but I genuinely couldn't see much openings other than that, and I wasn't going to risk everything just trying some banzai late break move because it would have never worked.
I mean, it would never have worked, maybe, but it would have been great to see. No, I'm kidding. Second place, though, is no mean feat. I mean, we mentioned to Jamal about the sort of carnage that happened during the race. And I want to see it from your point of view, because you're suddenly into second place with all the carnage then happening behind you, and you're able to just build a 9 to 10 second lead going on behind. I mean, it's just a case of hopefully keeping your cool out there, isn't it?
Yeah, I saw the guys go 3 wide out of turn 1, and I had a perfect opportunity to just sit back and watch carnage unfold. And I chose to go the right direction when there was contact, so I didn't get caught up. But I checked the replay afterwards, and I saw that Lawrence got absolutely collected, and I'm assuming then more people got collected after that, which is it's unfortunate, but I guess that's racing incidents for you.
I mean, it was a crazy third race, but we'll talk about your other 2 races as well, because you were battling away up into the top 10 as well. It was great to watch you battle your way through. I mean, talk us through, because it's a strong haul of points you've had tonight.
It's been phenomenal haul of points. Yeah, best result yet. I do like Sebring. I think I qualified 9th or 10th was it, but then yeah, in the 2 races, I picked up a couple of freebies from people going too wide out of Sunset. But I had some great battles with 2 of the guys, Brian, and I think Con Amelia in the first race. They were some really good, respectful battles, very much holding their own space and allowing it to be nice and clean. So yeah, respect to them. But it was good fun. I feel like they were one of the few overtakes I've actually made this series. I normally just pick up freebies from incidents ahead.
Well, Ryan, you've earned this one, and I've got to ask you, how are you going to celebrate this one?
I don't know. It's quite late. I'm knackered. I need a shower first.
A celebratory shower for Ryan Ware. You've earned it, Ryan. Well done, mate. Fantastic job, and congratulations. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you very much, and thanks for putting on a show. I'll definitely watch it back tomorrow.
Oh, great stuff, Ryan. Congratulations on the podium. Go and enjoy that shower. Cold shower, I'm hoping, but nonetheless, a shower. We'll have a chat as well to our race winner in Jordan Kelly. In fact, two-time race winner tonight. He's back again. Jordan, you said you wanted to chat to us again. Here you are.
No, good to be back. It was a tough one, though.
Yeah, I mean, obviously starting 8th in a hectic race is always going to be a little bit sketchy, but you seem to make some positions up early on, but then it was a case of your rival pretty much, Peter Dempsey, falling afoul of some traffic.
Yeah, he looked like he got a glimpse of a pass in the last corner and kind of outbraked himself and ended up hitting Robert there. So I wasn't going to complain about the two places I got there, but I had a bit of damage then before that from hitting the back with Peter, so I was kind of a wee bit struggling for pace down the straights, but it wasn't as bad as the Mons incident, so I was able to manage it not too bad. So but it was a good battle around the last few laps there. Jeez, he really could have had a good battle there if he just didn't make a few mistakes in the last lap there. So that was good. It was a good race there. Kept out of Baller, but very easily could have been in Baller too.
Yeah, we're just seeing on screen there a 3-wide moment between yourselves, Ryan Ware, and I'm just trying to see. I think it was Brian McManus. Sorry, yes, into turn 2. I mean, that's a moment and a half, and then we have Ryan hitting McManus there. Thoughts at that point?
I think it was Alex that had Brian there. We kind of Brian got an outside going down the main straight, and I knew the two of them were going to try and outbreak each other, so I decided to try and get the switch back and get the inside, which was always going to be the safest option. So I managed to get that, and then Alex on the inside, he couldn't probably see his brake marker properly, and just ended up giving Brian a touch, and the two of them kind of had their wee incident there. So it was a wee bit unfortunate, but it's left me for a less hectic end to the race, I suppose.
No, great stuff. I mean, you talked about your battle with Ryan Ware as well. Was that a case of you two sort of have this, short-term teamwork to sort of get yourself away from the rest of the field, or did that gap just happen naturally?
No, he didn't seem to be showing his nose or anything, so I think he kind of just wanted to get away and stuff, and I think he said to me there he was kind of happy where he was, so he didn't really want to battle too much there. So no, it was good, but he really could have made a challenge the last few laps there when I was making a few mistakes when the car got a bit slidey in there at the end. So but I managed to correct it, so hopefully more battling around next week, because it was good now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been a great night for yourself. 2 wins out of 3, with the other result being a second place. And the likes of Dylan McClements, Ronan Doherty not scoring big points this round. Of course, there's no more dropped rounds this season because everyone dropped Spa, because we've now discounted it. So It's a case now where you've got quite a good points haul from tonight.
Yeah, it's been going good. It's a rocky starting Browns, but since that I've got the results. So just trying to build on it, because at the end of the season I think the numbers kind of die down a small bit, so it becomes a wee bit easier to manage your kind of where you are on track and stuff. So hopefully we can keep it up now for next week and build on it again.
Yeah, great stuff. It's been a pleasure to chat to you, Jordan. I'll leave you now to go and celebrate. I mean, Ryan was going to celebrate with a cold shower. I don't know how you're going to celebrate.
I don't even know. I actually don't know. I have an Easter egg beside me, so I might eat that. But I'm not feeling to celebrate either. But we'll see what we can find. A good drink maybe would be needed actually after that sweat session. So no, we'll find something.
Go and have your egg. Go and have your water. And,
yeah, we'll do, Kieran.
Get yourself ready for next week. Ryan, Jordan, congratulations on your 2 wins today. Go and enjoy your egg.
Appreciate it, Kieran. Good talking to you.
Thanks, Jordan. Race winner of race 2 and 3 tonight. And that is great. And I believe we have driver of the day is Jamal Gandor. And well, from race 3, that was a phenomenal race there. I believe he gained about, I'm going to have to see, 13 positions? 13. Yes, I've just had it confirmed by Ronan. 13 positions in race number 3. What a fantastic drive for Jamal. He has won the driver of the day. So huge congratulations to him. And I'm sure that'll be adding to his array of wealth there. The podium in race 3 and the driver of the day as well. So brilliant, brilliant stuff for Jamal Gandor then, who takes our driver of the day. Well, let's see then. We've got our next rounds then, where we go to the Virginia International Raceway on the 16th of April. So make sure you join us for that one. It's been a pleasure to bring this round to you here in the TH Jordan RTA GT4 Cup. Join us again, same time next week, when we'll head to Virginia for round 6 of the championship. Until then, though, thank you very much for watching. I've been Kieran McGinley. You have been watching. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you next time.